Dear friends, 460 days of war. The African nation celebrated Africa Day 2023. Every year since 1963 on 25th May, they celebrate as victory over apartheid. It is also known as African Freedom Day or African Liberation Day. And on this particular day in 1963, Organization of African Unity were founded. But later, of course, now it is known only as African Union. From war zone in north, Ukrainian forces are continuing shelling on Belgorod, damaging some power line and gas pipelines as well. And similar situation exists in Bryansk and Kursk. In Kupiansk direction, the Russian forces expanded zone of control near Masutovka. Otherwise, by and large, situation remains constant. In south, there have been no apparent change in Kherson or Zaporizhia. However, it is noticed that the Ukrainian forces have stepped up uses of Western supplied cruise missiles behind the battle line of Russian forces. In east on Bakhmut front, ISW has noticed that the Russian forces operation around Bakhmut has become slow, though they have made some marginal gains west of Klishchivka, which is 7 kilometers southwest of Bakhmut, where the Ukrainian forces have been making gains. In northwest, though the situation seems to be stagnant, however, the Ukrainian forces are continuing their offensive near Urikho-Vasilivka. As far as Krasnoye and Kromov are concerned, it is status quo. In southwest direction, Russian forces continue their assaults on Belgorovka and adjacent areas, and no changes has been noticed in Avdiivka, Marinka or Ugledar, though the positional battle is on. On interdiction missions, ISW reports that the Russian forces conducted largest Shahid drone strikes against Ukrainian targets since the start of the war, and the targets were in central Ukraine, especially towards Zhytomyr and Kiev. Related information: the spring storm exercise under NATO in Estonia was completed. They claim it to be successful. The counting of ballot papers in runoff election in Turkey is completed, and Erdogan has been declared victorious again. This is the overall scenario in and around Ukraine, where both the armies, where one side is Moscow and on the other hand is Kiev, along with the weapon systems from 40 to 50 odd countries, are trying to annihilate each other. They know general major offensive on any particular front also. Limited war is only continuing with long and medium range missiles, artillery systems, UAVs. The deep and short term interdictions are continuing. That is, in short, the war attritions is very high from both the sides, and of course destruction of each other's arms, ammunition depot and other forms of war making facilities.